the snakes out just for the occasion. Happy Nazi Ireland Day. Medusa. And nobody knows what it's about, you know? It's a day of national heritage and no, it's nothing to do with your nation. It's native culture. No, nothing to do with culture. No, nothing to do with that at all. It's to celebrate the fact that Ireland learned to read and write. Yes, the Irish. And we celebrate that. Despite, being a very literate and moronic country all the same. The first guy that Rome sent, they chased him away with spears. They're trying to bring the Gospels to all the indigenous islands and countries in the world. And we chased him. Shillelaghs, really, not spears, We chased him away, the first guy that tried to educate the Irish. He was like, no, get away from us with your words and your books. And they wanted to teach him how to read so they could read the Gospels, or they could have the Gospels. And the Irish rejected him and sent him away. The first guy. And then he went back to Rome to report, and he's like, well, what are they deprived? And it's like, well, they have very big families, but all the women look very unsatisfied. Ireland. Yes, all the women were very unsatisfied. So Rome, being, clever Italian boys, sent this dude around. And he rode all your mass. Yes, he rode all the women, yes. And all the women and all the mothers turned around to the men of Ireland and said, see that Patrick lad? You could learn a thing off him. You could learn some tricks off him, boys. And then all the lads in Ireland listened to Patrick. Yeah. After you rode your mass. So we're celebrating the fact that Ireland learned to read and write. And we had punk Latin. Irish invented punk Latin. That's where punk comes from. Irish. We had full stops in between the Latin words. They're trying to teach us Latin, and the priests put full stops in between all the words to help the Irish distinguish between the letters in Latin. So that's where punk comes from. Punk is full stop in Irish, and we had punks. So you learn punk Latin. That's where punk rock comes from. Punk things, little power chords and stuff. It's like little kiddie rock, like little kiddie Latin. So yeah, try to murder the first. There's nothing to do with your nation. It's more religious as usual. And then the Irish just have this really bothersome confusion thing, particularly because of their crappy, ugly flag, of mistaking politics and religion. I'm thinking, I wonder, did they celebrate it up the north, Paddy's Day? And it was like, you're all Christian. I don't see why you wouldn't celebrate Paddy's Day. It's like, oh, I'm not Irish. And it's like, it's Ireland's national saint. St. Patrick. And it's just his saint day, St. Patrick's saint day, so he's our national saint. And we celebrate St. Patrick's. There's nothing to do with our nation, it's to do with St. Patrick. Now, also in Ireland, you actually had your own franchise of Christianity, which is interesting, because you were actually protecting important people from Christianity. The Lady of the Forest kind of thing. But Rome wanted their apostolic church to take control everywhere. See, Rome murdered all the friends of Jesus, his friends and family, and persecuted all his apostles and killed the apostles and stole their orreries and wanted to spread their franchise of Christianity. So we had a very good franchise of Christianity, and then it got wiped out, actually, by the church and replaced. So you had a lot of things like St. Bridget crosses. It was like a tree cross. It was like it's a very important symbol. It's like a Mercedes logo. And then they turned it into Christianity, the cross. So they turned it into their franchise of Christianity. So you had a really good, authentic, Islamic, legitimate franchise of Christianity in Ireland, which you forgot about and turned to Roman Catholic. So it's a really, not Roman Catholic, pretty much. It's very much a celebration for Italy and celebrating, educating the Irish. Yes, a massive feat. Massive feat educating the Irish, because I have this trouble, it's practically impossible. I'm like the first guy they sent with books and a nice celibate priest, and then the only language the Irish speak really is fighting and fucking, I suppose, so they sent another guy. So I'm not going to ride all your mahs, don't worry. I'm not be sitting around like the Mahon family, Po da Mahone, Ireland, and riding all your mahs and telling you all about Sinn Féin, the Northern Nazi Party. Yes, so celebrating the fact that Ireland learned to read and write. Well done, Ireland. Learn to read and write. And some lad called Patrick, who wrote all your mass, and essentially has met most of the letters, or all the letters of the word prick. Nobody was named Patrick. You know the way you call everybody a Paddy in Ireland, Paddy. You call everybody because then everybody was under the Roman franchise and everybody was named Patrick. Where before it was like Mary, Margaret, blah, 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 Bernadette, Beatrice or whatever. And everything else is where that comes from, because then everyone was put under the name or franchise of the Christian Apostolic Church through Francis, or through Patrick. So that's where calling everybody a Paddy in Ireland comes from. And yeah, my dad's name was Mary, you know what I mean? If you're from Dublin, you might know that. So yes, the Irish learned to read and write. And they chased the first guy away. They chased me away, you know what I mean? I'm teaching them how to read and write, and they just chased me away. So, don't know what she's celebrating too much. She's a heavier, unsainted scholar, and yeah, murdered me a couple of times. Around this time, actually, it was around this time that I was actually murdered. I think it was the 17th of March. This was the weird thing about it, when they tried to disembowel me and shot me in the face. Even so, you know, even so. And I'm trying to teach them gospels as well. It's hilarious if I'd ever read a gospel, you know what I mean? And they're just rejecting it. No, we don't want your gospel, and we don't want to. Nothing's really changed, you know what I mean? There's still a bunch of illiterate antichrists in this country. Celebrating something. And nobody knows exactly what. That in Italian wrote all your ma's. And then you learn to read and write. Just get loads of Italians over to Ireland, you know what I mean, for Paddy's Day. Real authentic. And have all the Italians ride all your women and to teach them a thing or two. I was like, yes, ladies, you can be satisfied with an Italian. Yes, you will never be satisfied with your Irish men. No, they're very selfish, aren't they? Very selfish Irish men. And Paddy touches a thing or two. Whatever his name was, I don't know what his real name was. So yeah. It's Italy 1, you know, Ireland 0. You're celebrating being conquested. And the Irish love being conquested. They love being faithful slaves and servant boys, and yes, they love being conquested upon. And they invite Miami and Florida and Denmark and the Dutch and everybody these days to conquest your wives and children. So that's just a little story of St. Patrick. That's what this is all about. This is the actual story of St. Patrick. A very talented Italian man that really got the confidence of your ladies, and then you really listen to him then. Maybe I ought to just ride all your ma's, and then they just turn around and say, oh, you could learn a thing from John. Oh, John, you could learn a thing or two. Well, you probably could. Celibate.